not push where you usually would, right? So I'm a guy who always pushes for a win, right? But when you get into a great championship battle, it's not guys like me who end up winning them championships. It's guys who are able to be a little bit more measured down the stretch. And you realize that sometimes taking the L and just taking the points out of the second or third place finish can give you an advantage over somebody who pushes for a win and cocks it up, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely going to be coming down to smartness here, too. We have the stream up, and they are rolling here. Got the points after Texas there on the light, right, AJ? Now, it's not an unassailable position by any means. It can change massively. But I do think that we have a pretty good position for Chris Ball and Paul going into these final couple of races with an 11-point advantage. Or 12-point advantage, excuse me.
Yeah. Frick. Wait, what were we talking about?
Dumbass. Sorry. Chris Ball and Paul's point position, AJ. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, oh my goodness, I am having a brain fart right now. I'm sorry. We've been sitting in this in this call for like an hour. So.
What track is it, Mike? What track is it?
It's Pocono.
Were you alive for that? Were you alive for that? When NASCAR and Fox a couple years ago, I think it was 2015, or no, 2012. They were at Richmond, and the announcer announced the guy who won the race as saying he won at Pocono.
Oh.
That, yeah. So the pace car is going to pace around a few times here because, you know, this race is on schedule anyways, so we don't have to wait. It's just fine to wait.
Also, I was alive for that, but I wasn't watching NASCAR.
That guy's my spirit animal, the color guy who just doesn't take it. He just yells at his play-by-play man. That's what you should do more often, AJ. Stand up for yourself.
I should just yell at you?
No, not like that. Yes, let's make the booth incredibly unprofessional. That's a great idea. It'll definitely not get us fired. So AJ, Sleesher's going to actually be on the inside here, despite the fact that Trainwreck's the pole sitter, which is a little bit interesting that Trainwreck would want the outside. Now, is there anything that you saw when you were driving down the track and watching guys take laps that make you think the outside would be advantageous on a restart?
I don't even think that it is advantageous. I don't believe that that it's gonna be good to be on the outside because the groove is basically on the inside of the track, I would say.
Now, you might be able to get a better launch on the outside and maybe cut down into the corner. I mean, you don't want to be on the bottom of corner entry. You don't want to shortcut the entry to the corner. You want to kind of arc it. So maybe it's a little bit easier to arc it. If you can pin your opponent down there on the bottom, you can get clear of them easier and get away on the start. And that's probably what Trainwreck and Sleesher both want to do is race the guy on their outside or inside, come into the first corner, and get clear of them before it's time for the long pond straight, followed by the tunnel turn, and the long run to turn 3. As they come out of turn 3, this is what the viewers have waited for. Coming to the line, 75 laps here at Pocono. Green flag in the air. Good jump. Chris Ball Paul almost takes him free wide right there, AJ, right off the start.
Actually, it really helped Smart Coder that he was on the outside. Sleesher did not get a good start on that. Did not get a good jump on that start.
Chris Ball Paul running the bottom, kind of dirt tracking it, almost like 3 or 4 degrees of slip there. Manages to get the lead. And now they go down the long pond straightaway, coming towards turn number 2. Only 3 turns here at Pocono. And, got loose there, Trainwreck. Good score gave him a little nudge on corner entry, and everyone's in the wall. Coming off the corner, and Chris Ball Paul is starting to check out, and this is kind of what everybody else in the field did not want to see, AJ, because Chris Ball Paul leading the points. Oh, no, he's spinning! And he's going to save it.
Wow.
What a save.
As there's a massive lag spike there. Oh, my goodness.
And he lost 6% of his tires, and now he's wrecking the 41
There goes Joel Musa.
Joel Musa goes spinning, and they all keep it straight in the end. No caution. AJ, Chris Ball Paul manages to get to the lead and then lose it pretty quick there, AJ. And, oh, my goodness, he's spinning again. And this time he ain't saving it. Oh, he does kind of save it, but his tires are now down to 90. And that we were talking about tire conservation before this race, before the second time the server restarted. On the waiting screen, AJ. So do you think that the tire conservation is going to be a challenge for him now that his tires are all burned up from them spins?
Yeah, because he's been spinning, the tires have been kind of, I guess, like flat spotted, kind of like that's very loose term, but like they've been degraded a lot. So now he's behind the other people who have not spun and are actually racing.
Yeah, he's gonna have real problems back there.
Yeah.
And he just saved another 3% off his tires as we're talking about it, by the way. So he's really struggling. And he's dropped all the way back to 6 now.
And he's gonna be making more pit stops, I would say, than most people here.
Yeah, I mean, he might be able to get it under control later in the race, but right now it certainly does look like he is struggling out there. Just trying to find any little bit of grip he can get, and he's not getting any right now. That thing is completely sideways.
And there goes Brian.
AJ, could you moderate the chat real quick? Actually, no, do you have Prince?
What do you mean?
Some suspicious messages in chat.
Suspicious messages, damn.
Don't click those. And don't click those links, by the way, if you're in chat. That's a really good way to lose. Do not. It's a really good way to lose all your information. And that is not a legitimate sponsor of the Jackal Racing Network, I do assure you.
Yeah.
I feel like I'll be responsible if someone does.
Maybe because we're calling them out is
and no caution for that incident. Oh, we got another car sideways. I mean, these guys are just tearing up their tires right now. So everybody's kind of getting spaced out here. The leader, Trainwreck's got about a 1 second advantage over the second place car, Sleesher. And then everybody back in the next group is about 3 seconds behind them almost. And they are really racing hard in that second group. In the lead of that group right now is not Brian Nass's Space, excuse me.
Brian Nass's Space is all the way in the back.
I was going to say, it's Creason, my apologies. They are very similar cars. Both Shocks Martini cars, of course. Shocks Martini have been pretty strong this year, honestly. A couple of good races from them, and they've all been really challenging for race wins and top 5s.
Yeah. Man, not much to talk about.
Right now, Chris Bald Paul is trying to get back up into the top 4 or 5, and he's really struggling with that car, though. On corner entry, when he hits the brake, it jerks right on him because the tires are worn so bad. And that causes him to have to slide out the rear tires even more just to get the thing to rotate the dang corner. And he's really struggling with it right now because when it gets out on entry, it just goes sideways on him, and he completely loses it almost. I mean, it is not at all what he's looking for. And because of that, his tires are going to wear more, and he's going to get further and further. Oh, and he's spinning now. Joel Musa involved as well. 2 cars in the wall. No caution for that one as well. And now the 27 to Good Square pulls out on the 4 and makes a great pass. Oh no, the 4 blocks him. I thought he was going to get clear of him, but the 4 shoved him down. And Good Square backs out of it. Good Square's got a lot to fight for here. Can't ruin it this early. And Chris Bald Paul is KOing that car every single corner. Down to 81% on the tires, AJ. And he's probably going to not be able to make it to that pit stop, I don't think, without having to pit early. Because that thing is absolutely wild.
Chris Bald Paul in this situation is being way too dangerous for his own good. He has degraded tires, which is already a disadvantage because he is spinning in all the corners. And he's just holding up Good Square, who's fighting for like the lead, right? Is he in the lead of the championship?
For the championship, yes. For the championship, it is currently Chris Bald Paul who's in the lead. And we actually have a move for position for the lead. Sleesher, gets into Trainwreck. And they're too wide for the lead, and Sleesher has just passed Trainwreck in the tunnel turn, and now coming down towards turn 3, Trainwreck gets out of the gas and lets Sleesher through, doesn't try and contest it too hard there. Gonna try and beat him back on corner exit. But yeah, AJ, I agree with your assessment there. Chris Bald Paul's racing himself way too dang hard. And, I mean, we're only a tenth of the way through this race, and his tires are completely destroyed. He might have to pit early. Kind of a disastrous run for him so far, just trying to salvage something. And his points lead could slip away here if he has a bad result, and he does know that, so he's unquestionably got to start being more careful in the second half of this race.
Yeah, and blocking Good Square is not a good move to do this early in the race. Even without like degraded tires.
Just too early to be blocking.
Yeah.
And Trainwreck and Sleesher, Trainwreck has 87% tires and Sleesher's on 85%, or on 88%, so Trainwreck with a slight disadvantage tire-wise. Now I think that's definitely going to play into this battle, how Trainwreck plays it. He might want to lay off a little bit here. He's going to have to lay back pretty hard, I think, and just try and save his tires, wait a little bit, and maybe get himself back up there, you know, later in the run. But right now, Chris Bald, Paul, and Good Square, whoever finishes first in those two should probably take the points lead coming out of this race and going into the finale. And right now, they're right next to each other on track, and I think that those guys are probably going to race each other pretty hard because it's so important. As Chris Bald, Paul moves Good Square all the way into the wall, and in a big cloud of smoke makes the pass. And that's very important. That is for position. Meanwhile, for the lead, Trainwreck gets back underneath the 21, passes him, doesn't quite get clear though, and the 21 rockets back past him on the high side, AJ. I'm pretty sure it's on the stream right now. The stream is so delayed on my end, I actually can't tell what's on camera.
Trainwreck really got into the quarter panel of Sleesher there. I was worried that they were going to crash at that point.
And right now, Trainwreck is just kind of holding his own against Sleesher, even with the worn tires. Trainwreck's down on 81%, Sleesher on 85%, and both of them are about equal on fuel, which makes sense considering they, you know, there's not much fuel saving you can do here at this point in the run when you're racing someone this hard. Trainwreck gets back out, or Sleesher gets back out in front of Trainwreck, but these two are racing really hard for these laps led. Now, neither of these guys are really championship contenders. I mean, they're outside guys. They're outside shots right now. Mathematically, it is possible right now because they're both around 85 points and the leader is at 117 points. So it's still mathematically possible, but I don't think that they're going to be able to get the championship without some things going their way in front of them. They don't really control their own destiny.
Yeah.
I mean, they can do all they can to try and give themselves a good points finish, but they are still a quite long distance back, and they can make that up for sure, but they need some things to go their way in front of them. But you have to make your own luck, you know, and finishing well in this race and possibly winning it for one of these two guys definitely gives them a chance, because Trainwreck and Sleesher, you know, on 86 and 83 points respectively, are still technically in contention, and they have to remember that. So I think you definitely, it changes how you run, you know, AJ?
Yeah, definitely. If you're not even fighting for a championship, you just don't care. You may not even show up to races, which is very weird, but like...
Yes. I mean, there's two kind of guys when they're out of the championship. They stop showing up, or they show up and only want to win. And right here we see Trainwreck absolutely sending a slider on Sleesher, who hit the wall, and they're going to be too wide coming across the stripe here for lap 12. And this is going to be a war of attrition here, AJ, I think, because these guys are both wearing out their tires, racing real hard. And Kreezem, all the way back, about 2.5 seconds behind him, has tires that are about 3% better than either of them. So I think that he's definitely got a chance to catch up to these guys if they wear off their stuff too hard. And they're too wide. They're slowing each other down right now. They are not running their best laps currently. And going back to the championship, or excuse me, go ahead.
Yeah, they need to at least sort this out, kind of like maybe make an agreement of some sort. Like, hey, well, I'll help you, you help me, you know.
Because you can't be double wide for this long. You're going to start losing ground to the guards behind you.
Yeah. Okay,
and
you're saying.
Chris Bald, Paul racing Good Square real hard. They're still too wide back here for 4th place. 5th place now. Joel Mills has passed both of them. And Chris Bald, Paul is on 70% tires. Good Square is on 80, just dropped to 79% tires. So these guys are just way, way off on tires. Meanwhile, Trainwreck has gotten... That's a timing error. Sleesher is still leading. The timing board just decided to count Sleesher as 2 seconds behind where he is. Thanks, Roblox.
Roblox moment.
Roblox moment. And they almost wreck right there. They're rubbing and beating and banging right now. And Sleesher really working hard on Trainwreck. They are really racing hard for the lead right now. And Chris Bald Paul gets back out in front of Good Square, and he has to fight really hard right now. I mean, his tires are destroyed, but Good Square's tires are much, much better. So I think that you really, if you're the car who's defending on worn tires, you cannot let him get past you, because if he gets past you, he's just going to rocket away. And Chris Bald Paul knows that. He's an experienced racer. And currently he's ripping the lip right up on the high side, kind of riding the rim. And right there he actually gets slingshotted and passed on the bottom by Good Square, and Good Square's going to get that spot back. Now Chris Bald Paul has to do all that over again to get past him, and that's going to, you know, put a real tamper on his chances of finishing ahead of him, because his tires are just so worn. You can see when he gets down in the corner, it wiggles a lot more than Good Square's car does. And because that is pretty much the battle for the championship right now, I mean, it is going to tighten up with Sleesher and Trainwreck finishing where they finish if they stay where they are. I mean, those two really have to know they are currently fighting for their destiny as a potential Jackal Racing champion this season, you know? And right there, both of them missed the corner, so apparently they heard what I said. So
Yeah, Chris Paul is not going to be catching up to Good Square anytime soon, I don't think.
Yeah, Good Square is just rocketing away. Trainwreck gets back to the lead again, and these two have been, you know, they've been trading. They've been trading the lead off and on continuously, and I think it's changed like 3 or 4 times in the last couple laps. These guys are really racing hard. And Sleesher currently tucking in the draft as Trainwreck. Right now they're both about the same tires. Trainwreck has actually kind of closed the gap on tire where it's 75 to 78 now. Earlier it was about 4, now it's closer to 2 or 3. And Sleesher just about wrecked it.
Wow.
Yep. Almost wrecked it there. That was a good save. Getting down on fuel. Almost green flag pit stop time, AJ. Oh, big lunge here by Sleesher. He's going to send it. Ooh,
oh, man, on the quarter panel.
Onto the quarter panel, took the air off it, and he's going to make the move here. He's still alongside, and he files back in behind, but he's going to set it up here for turns 1 and 2. And I think you want to be ahead during green flag pit stops. I think
yeah, he's going to make a big lunge here.
Yeah, this is going to be he's going to full send it here if he does. And here he comes.
Oh, man.
On the bottom, it's going to be really hard to make that stick. It's going to go up to the wall, and it's going to just barely kiss the wall. What a save there.
Wow.
That thing was almost sideways. And Good Square and Chris have both come into pit lane. Chris in front of Good Square right now on pit lane by about 2 car lengths. We're going to see how that gap changes when they come out. As Trainwreck is now behind Sleesher. That was a great move by Sleesher as these guys come down to the end of this fuel run.
Yeah, that was a textbook move. Wait until the last second to duck in and get that position off the corner.
That was like a Brazilian guy in an ACC lobby, man, sending it in from 8 deep.
Yeah.
Unlike the Brazilian guy, these guys didn't hit each other too hard, though, and these guys are racing with respect, man. This is great. I mean, these guys are really racing hard for the lead. Here comes lap traffic coming up in the way. Chris Paul, a lap car, comes up right in front of Trainwreck. He's going to tuck in line here into the draft of Sleesher. And now with the new tires, Chris Paul has completely reset this race, and now Good Square is some distance behind them with a not quite as good pit entry and definitely not quite as good pit stop. And he's going to have about a 2-second lead, and that is a points championship swing right there between those two. Like, oh no, he spins it! Oh!
What just happened?
He just got completely sideways, burned off about 3% of his tires. And Chris Paul cannot make the same mistakes of yesterday today. I mean, he's really loose on new tires. That seems to be the problem for him. And oh no, he turns the leader!
He just wrecked the leader! What the heck is that?
Into pit road. Oh my goodness, what a save there. That is the move of the day by Sleesher, taking that half spin, getting turned, and moving down into pit road, not losing any time and pulling off an almost perfect pit entry. That was really, really heads-up driving right there by Sleesher.
That was an appalling move by Chris Paul. He shouldn't have done that at all.
Yeah, that was a boneheaded move right there if I ever seen one. But I get it. He's pushing. He wants to get around that leader and put as much distance between him and Good Square as he can. And, you know, team never lift, you know? It's the old Brad Keselowski saying, I ain't lifting. So, pit cycle has gone through. It appears no penalties. And Sleesher and Trainwreck are going to come off pit road dead even. We get to watch this battle for another 20-odd laps before they got to pit again, AJ. So that's just what the fans want to see here. A good 2-car battle for the lead and a good 2-car battle for the points championship.
Yeah, Sleesher did not get off the corner that well that time. Here comes Trainwreck. He's going to pull up and he's going to make a move in turn 3, I would say.
I think he's going to be able to here. And oh my goodness!
Wow, not if you do that.
What a save!
Dang.
That was incredible right there. We've seen some great driving today, but now he's backed up. And now I think he's got to play the tire game. You're this far back, about a second. You got to start playing the tire game. You're down on 97%. Sleesher's on 98. Oh, never mind. Now Sleesher's
there
on
goes
93
Sleesher. Wow.
Yeah. Big slide and Trainwreck.
Oh my goodness. That was some dangerous driving by Sleesher.
Yeah, Sleesher's holding on to this thing. Trainwreck's going to try and get past him in this corner, I'm sure. And they both take the same line on entry. Let's see if Trainwreck backs it up and diamonds it. Trainwreck does it. He does. Sleesher and Trainwreck both diamond that corner. Sleesher did it to defend. Trainwreck did it to try and get underneath. And Smart Coder has gone 1 lap down. That's our first lap car of the day. He'll be the lucky dog in the event of a caution. We have not had yet. 19 laps clean now, come to 20. And Trainwreck moves Sleesher a little bit of contact there. Gets back to the lead, it looks like. If he doesn't get clear before the corner, he'll get clear in the corner. And
yeah, he's
gets
gonna
underneath
get
him.
this position. Maybe. He's gonna squeeze that car into the wall, maybe. Oh,
nope,
man.
He's gonna give him a lot of room there. They got a lot of space between the two of them for the lead here.
Just
And
some
oh
great
my goodness,
driving
he's
there.
holding that bottom. He's going to get a huge run off the corner, though, the 21 here. And he wiggled mid-corner, and now here comes the momentum. Off the high side, pulls into the slipstream, makes his move on the back straightaway, comes back up. Coming into the tunnel turn, AJ, this is going to be very consequential because these guys' tires are starting to burn up a little bit. And I think these guys have got to get themselves settled. They got a huge gap behind those, so they can basically race each other as hard as they damn well please. Because there ain't nobody from behind who's going to catch them.
Yeah, Sleesher kind of backed off there. He didn't want to bump Trainwreck and just lose all that time.
And the 21 pulls back up into the draft on the wall here. And, I mean, he's working on them still. He's really working them. And looking back at the battle between Chris Bald Paul and Good Square, it's about like half a straightaway now between the two of them. And Chris Bald Paul's actually caught Joel Musa and could move up another spot, which would definitely give him the championship points lead. I think finishing 2 points ahead of Good Square would give him a 3 or 4 point lead. If I'm not mistaken, I think that'd be about right. So definitely very important for him. I forget exactly how the system works once you get outside of like the top 3. But getting a top 3 here, or, I mean, somehow pulling back to win it would be great for Chris Bald Paul. But where he's sitting right now, about 3 seconds ahead of Sleesher, or ahead of Good Square, excuse me. That's right where he wants to be. And oh my goodness, they both spin for the lead. I mean, these new tires, it seems like these cars are real loose on new tires, and they start getting a little bit tighter as the run goes on. Because these guys are just breaking free mid-corner every lap, it seems like. And now Trainwreck's got about a 1.5 second lead despite doing like a 180 off the corner there. And I mean, I think now if you're Sleesher, now you have to play the tire game. I mean, we said that a couple laps ago, but I think now is the time to maybe just wait for those tires to get... Oh, and we have a caution.
Man, that was a huge lag spike, and there's a caution, I guess?
There's a caution out, yeah. Sleesher gets sideways. And I don't know what the caution is for. It may have been for the incident involving Trainwreck and Sleesher, but the pits are closed. And Trainwreck's racing back here. Sleesher wrecking on the race back. I guess they're probably going to pit under the other anyways. And Trainwreck, your leader here on lap 23 on the Jackal Racing Network. AJ, thoughts on what you've seen so far?
It's been really competitive. There's been a lot of battles, of course, with Sleesher and Trainwreck. That has been amazing to watch. Chris Bald Paul with like a lot of dumb moves, I would say, to say the least. But yeah, it's been pretty entertaining.
Yeah, and I think some of those dumb moves don't really come down to so much driver error as driver desperation. You know, remember Kevin Harvick at Martinsville a couple years ago, just wrecking the leader.
Yeah.
Or not the leader, the fourth place car, trying to get the points he needed to get to the next round. That's kind of what we're seeing here between these guys. I mean, it's not quite that desperate yet. I mean, there's still one race to go after this, but Trainwreck, Sleesher, Chris Bald Paul, Good Square, they all need to do great. All right, they need to do as much as they can in this race, because you can't leave it all in one race, because you need to put yourself in a good position going into that race so that you can control your own destiny. Sleesher or Trainwreck win this race, they might have a shot at just being able to win outright in the next race. But Good Square and Chris Bald Paul don't want to lose, you know, the ability to be holding their own cards, you know, throwing their own darts. Other analogies of the pub game variety.
Yeah.
They need to control their own destiny, and you need to get a good result here to set that up. Because while this might not be the final race of the season, this is just every bit as important as the final race, because this sets that up. Some of these guys could definitely win the championship, but they have to have a good result here to set that up. And some of these guys have a cushion, but they can grow that cushion. And I think that's almost something that's more important, is Joel Musa gets sent to the back for, I believe, illegal service. I mean, he's got a tire outside the box, and he's currently pointed at like a 2 o'clock position, so I don't think that's legal.
Yeah.
So tough scene for him. Now we're not going to talk about how the 99 pit illegally. We're not going to sell out our. Actually, no, he's fine. Yeah, barely fine. He's got like an inch. He's got like an inch between that tire and the white line. You're good, Brian. I'm sorry. Brian's our favorite driver. I mean, I'm the play-by-play guy. I ain't supposed to be biased, but it's Brian Nass's place, man. I mean, come on.
Brian Nass's space is a national treasure.
Of what country, though?
All of them.
All of them. Yeah. I mean. His home country, Mexico, America, Canada loves him.
Canada.
Oh, the one Canadian guy I know loves him, so that counts for something. I mean,
Sometimes
Latvia.
I forget Canada exists.
Latvia is a big fan of him.
I'm being honest.
Like all the Latvians we know, they're all big fans of Brian. You know,
Yeah.
I think Brian's very popular worldwide, and I mean, he's definitely putting himself in position for a good race here. I think. I mean, he's a lap down right now, and he's spun and hit the wall under caution, but you know, he's just enjoying himself, man.
Yeah, he's just happy to be here.
As he gets his lap back by running on the outside. 1 lap to green, so he'll be going green this time. AJ, before the race, you weren't able to make your picks. But now, I'm forcing you. I got a gun to your head and your family in a closet. Who you picking?
Oh man, I think it's gonna be one of the 2 leaders in the front here. It's gonna be Trainwreck or Sleesher, but I'm leaning towards Trainwreck in this one.
I will never sleep on Sleesher, alright? He is always there at the end. He is a closer. Remember that photo finish we had, I believe, at Loudon in BIRA? Sleesher coming to the line. Hold that move on. Remember who he pulled it on?
Trainwreck.
Trainwreck, yeah.
Yes.
So, I'm just saying.
That is true. I totally forgot it was Trainwreck and Sleesher.
Was it Remy? It might have been. No, it was Trainwreck in the green car, yeah, because Remy was in the weather channel. Sleesher was right there. So yeah, that was Sleesher and Trainwreck. So these guys have had some good races together before, and I think this is going to be another one between these two as well. But all those guys behind them, they have a chance too, I think, to maybe make some noise here, because this is a restart. This is a complete restart. Everyone's on new fuel. Everyone's on new tires. This is a race reset. It is a brand new race now. Everything that's happened, throw it out. Forget about it, all right? It is a new race. Everybody has extra 25 laps of experience on the track. Everybody knows how everyone else around them is racing. Everyone has a new set of instructions in their brain that they have to execute here on this restart. Coming to the restart zone, Trainwreck on the inside, controlling this restart. Sleesher on the outside. Green flag back in the air here at Pocono. Sleesher does not get a good jump. He's going to get taken 3 wide by the 9 and the 4. And now Trainwreck's he's going to have to choose where to block if he blocks at all. Because all 3 of these guys are going to be coming down in the corner. And everyone gets on the brakes well. Here comes the 4 car, Cristobal Paul, to the lead for just a moment. 3 wide. AJ, they're 4 wide!
Oh my goodness!
And they're wrecking. Oh, what a save!
Wow. That could have been a disaster for Cristobal Paul there.
That really could have been. He is taking some big risks as he takes the lead. And you say, oh, big save there from Joel Musa. They say if you no longer go for a gap, you're no longer a racing driver. There was some sort of gap there, but he made it bigger with that front end of that car, AJ. That was impressive. Yeah. 4 wide pass for the lead at Pocono. Where have you seen that before?
I don't think I've ever seen that, actually. Cristobal Paul just shoved his way into the lead.
Yeah, he found space, and he made space. If he wasn't going to find it, he was going to make it. He sent that car in there with authority and with almost desperation. And here comes the 48 on a crossover move. He's going to get that lead back. And now the 4 car, oh my goodness, he is all
the way down
into the quarter panel. And oh my, he's really trying to side draft him or hook him or something here, AJ. And here comes he's going to give him the chrome horn maybe. Oh, big skid out of the 48, gets off the corner. 4 car's going to have a run coming down towards turn 3. Here. He's either going to give him a bump or give him a send. He's pulling out early. Oh my god, he's going to beat him back to the gas.
He let off the gas.
Oh, he's turning. Oh, what a save. And the 21 goes around behind him and into the wall again, Cristobal
And he loses it.
Everyone's losing it, and there's a car spun around in the corner. That may be a yeller. We'll see. Looks like he got it back going. That was Joel Musa at the back of the pack.
And guess who's in third?
No caution. Square. Good square, yep. Cristobal Paul hates to see that in his mirrors. The 9 car
Oh my goodness.
Okay, that was
not going to work in a million years.
A big attempt at a video game move. And now, with how hard he's racing if Prism races this guy that hard all the way through this race, Cristobal Paul is going to check out. I mean, we said that about Trainwreck earlier in the race, and we saw him
there
not
goes
check out,
Trainwreck. So. Oh, man.
I think Good Square right now, though, he is right where he wants to be. He is running down his championship opponent, and he's doing it well.
Oh my goodness, there goes Cristobal Paul!
Oh, Cristobal Paul. Oh, his tires are completely just destroyed as well after that one. And that, you hate to see it. Unless they're Good Square,
it's like a replay. It's just a replay from earlier in the race when he was spinning all those times. This is terrible. This is a terrible development for Chris Paul.
And we have no replay, but we have a theoretical replay, and that's all we needed right there. But Good Square.
Oh man,
they almost just wrecked again. Good Square right now leading the race. Where did he come from? He was back in 5th place battling a car with completely destroyed tires and losing to him. And now he's up here in the lead, leading this race, just kind of checking out on these guys. He is sent it into every corner with authority, and he is just running this thing away from these boys.
Yeah, and back there in 2nd, 3rd, 4th, they're beating and banging for that 2nd place spot.
I think they all want to be the guy who gets a shot. I mean, this is the penultimate race of the season, so these guys, not only are they just racing because they're racers, and this is where racers come to race here in Jackal, they're racing because it's the championship on the line, and these guys are going to send it into every corner with every ounce of integrity, testosterone they got. They're sending it in there, man. They are letting it hang. They are sending it full throttle, balls to the wall. And before anyone complains about that, it's an aircraft, literally. Plunger on an old airplane throttle. A lot of people don't know that. But yes, these guys are just sending it, AJ. I mean, it is incredible.
Yeah, this is incredible racing. I didn't think that this track would produce that much racing. Oh man, there goes train wreck.
Oh, and that thing. Yeah, it's not gonna be competitive for the rest of the run after that slide. I hate to say it.
Yeah, his car just went around there. He got in the
I don't think there was anything he could do there. Once it got sideways, it was going all the way around just because the angle that corner is at. It's really hard to save it coming off of it there. And the way he spun in the corner makes me think that he probably just got on the brakes a little bit too hard and overcompensated maybe. And, you know, you hate to see it. It's a tough scene. And now Good Square is going to continue driving away because Sleesher is racing Kreesum so hard. And Kreesum almost puts Sleesher in the wall. He does. And I don't condone bumping a guy so hard that he goes flying into the wall. But, you know, Kreesum's the faster car right now, I think, between these two. So, you know, would you have to agree on that, AJ, that Kreesum's the faster car and maybe the 21's fighting him a little bit too hard and probably slowing them both down?
Maybe. I think Kreesum is fast because he sends the corner too much. I don't think it's a sustainable way of driving.
Oh, and there he bumps himself basically, and 21's going to get a drive off the corner here. And yeah, 9 car I think has burned up his stuff. I've actually messed up my GUI because I'm a very intelligent play-by-play man. So we'll see here. But Sleesher now really trying to run down Good Square, and now he's gotten clear of that 9 car. That 9 car ain't going to be a problem for him unless the 9 car decides to lose all brains. And we got a wreck at the back. And it's the car, I believe, of Smart Coder went sideways, went all the way around, hit the wall, and managed to keep it going. No caution, still green, 1 car. Kept it somewhat straight, lost a few seconds though, and now train wreck's all over him. So 2 cars with damaged tires back there are racing pretty hard now. But Sleesher is closing that gap, AJ, to Good Square, and if you're Good Square, do you let Sleesher through? Do you race him? What's your game plan here?
I would say just keep him behind him, man, because he can get out to a lead, and you'll just lose him.
I think Good Square's worn his tires enough that he's kind of committed to the whole idea. I think both these guys are committed to running this run and not just sitting back on tires. And it'd be, you know, I don't know about the fuel situation right now. It'd be nice if we can get an update from our wonderful analytics department, you know, to tell us about when the next pit stop may be, so we can transmit that information to our wonderful viewers on the Jackal Racing Network. But AJ, as we see, Sleesher makes the move for the lead. I think that these guys are definitely going to run out the rest of this run. This front 3 is pulled away enough that they don't have to worry too much about Trainwreck or Smart Coder catching them. And I think Kreesum especially is probably hungry for that first place spot because he hasn't really been up there much today until now. And, oh, he's so hungry he's going to nearly turn the 27. Gets into the rear right quarter panel there, AJ. That's
he was like all over that bumper and quarter panel there.
Yeah, and I think Good Square at this point is probably thinking, oh my god, this man's insane. And thinking, maybe, for my championship hopes, maybe it's just best I let the madman through, but he's holding on to that spot. But that 9 car is just sending it into every corner with a commitment I've never seen. I have not seen that out of anybody in this league.
Yeah, that's some good driving from Good Square.
The 21 got sideways there, and the 9 car beats Good Square back to the gas. Coming off the corner, Good Square has a run. The 21 blocks. Ooh, that was late.
Man.
That was late from old Sleesher there. Joey Logano, eat your heart out.
That was
a late block.
That's some dangerous driving from Sleesher. If you want to stay in the lead, you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah. But, I mean, yeah, if you want to stay in the lead, that's a great move. But not if you want to stay on the track. And the 27 back to the lead here. Good square. But here comes Friesen with a big run. Good square is going to have to block both these guys if he wants to hold the spot. He's not going to be able to... I mean, it seems like the car who's in second has the advantage off the corner almost every time because they can follow the leader's line and kind of just pick it apart. But it's especially turn 3 where that happens. It seems like turn 2 the leader can kind of hold himself through. But turn 3, the second place car just gets to see where the leader's going and put his car somewhere else. You know?
Here comes Sleesher. Wow, that was a nice move.
Yeah, that was a really good move there. The 9 car just held a little bit too high of a line there, AJ, and he just slid underneath, didn't he?
Yeah, he dove it in there.
Yeah, I think these guys are definitely really trying to fight for this lead right now because coming into pit stops, oh, the 9 car goes around.
There goes Friesen.
Oh. And the story of the day, the most fun story of the day, has, for now, come to a screeching halt. Friesen hits the outside wall, his tires are destroyed. And now there are 2 left in this battle for the lead, AJ.
Yeah. Dang.
And Good Square, our points leader, followed by Sleesher, a man who basically needs to win this thing to control his destiny. I mean, he's got to put together a great result here, and he's trying his dangest. I mean, he's really trying, and he just about gets to the bumper of Good Square there. But we talked about Good Square, AJ, maybe being a kind of guy who wouldn't win on this track because it's a triangle and he's a square, but he is definitely proving that 4 sides are better than 3 because he is just absolutely destroying this track right now. Every lap is just absolutely blazing right now. He's almost perfect. And Sleesher, you know, is pretty dang close to perfect, too, as the 27 gets a little bit of a wiggle mid-corner, and the 21 checks up to avoid completely washing him out. But, you know, AJ, I don't know which one of these guys I'd pick if it goes green all the way to the end, and it comes down to these 2, and they both get out pit lane all right.
You can't question the excellence of... Oh, my goodness.
My goodness, AJ, you couldn't curse them like that.
What? I was saying you couldn't...
You finish your sentence. You half spun. Oh my goodness.
Well, now that I was gonna have this whole speech about how Good Square is one of the greatest road races of all time, and then they just wreck.
And then he just turns in on a guy.
Yeah.
I don't think he really put down a Good Square there. Sleesher really did stick his nose in pretty deep there. That was a racing deal. But Good Square is legitimately. You can make a really good case that he's the greatest of all time. I mean, it would come down for me between him, Cone Murderer, and maybe one of those European guys. I mean, Audi was really good back in the day, but I mean, of guys in the modern era, like since Drive 100 died, Good Square absolutely one of the best, especially on ovals. And this is really a chance to finally rubber stamp his legacy, and almost like kind of just permanently say, you know, GOAT status achieved right there, winning the championship. Because he has faced some incredibly stiff competition from guys like the guy behind him right now, Sleesher, and other guys on track, Chris Paul. I mean, Brian's been on track somewhere. We haven't seen him on the broadcast much, but you know.
I should say, I have to flex this any chance I can because at some point it's gonna be irrelevant. But I am technically the last champion of Drive to N-Hungary.
You are technically the last Drive to N-Hungary.
Yeah, and I will hold that accomplishment proudly.
Yes, and Good Square just lost the lead while you were
while I was ranting about
tooting your own horn over there. Sleesher makes a good pass under green, coming into turn 3. Good time for pit stops here, I think. I think Sleesher right now might be pulling off in this corner. I'd say now would be a good time. He just got the lead, but no, he's going to try and stay out another lap, maybe extend this lead a tiny bit more before he comes in. Meanwhile, Trainwreck back up to third. AJ cannot count this man out.
Yeah.
And Friesen as well, dropping back because he's destroyed his tires by running his car like a madman.
Did we say that that green flag stops are going to be at about 2 laps?
Probably about 2 or 3 laps, yeah, I reckon.
Yeah.
So I think that, you know, Sleesher, Good Square, those 2 coming on. You got to talk about who's good on pit road, and Good Square is not good at pitting. We've already seen that today.
Yeah, that's his one weakness.
Yeah,
I would say.
And he just got the lead back, so.
Oh yeah.
Commentators, we have not been right once today. I will note we are having a terrible day for the predictive accuracy of this booth.
Yeah, maybe because we're out of practice, kind of.
I'm not out of practice. I commentated.
I am very out of
practice.
About. Stops in 1 or 2 laps, Icky says.
He says that, yeah. 3 laps ago he said 3 laps, so they're probably coming down to fumes about now. As the 21 car gets a huge lunge at the 27. He's going to be even on the Long Pond straightaway. This is for the lead. And Good Square, ooh, man, he put him in the wall there. But Good Square is still going to get the run off, being squeezed into the wall nonetheless.
Griswold, Paul, and Smart Coder in the pit road.
That's going to be important if Kurtz can get off well. I mean, he's really got to try and salvage this race. 15 seconds back from the leaders, trying to do something. And Sleesher gets back around Good Square. He really rubbed Good Square a lot there on that straightaway. Slow him down. And here comes Good Square going around the outside. Might be able to get back to the gas first, but he's slowing down for pit road, AJ.
And here he comes, Good Square in pit road.
Yep, that was better. Oh.
And here we go.
AJ, he was close to pit speed. I don't know.
Oh.
I think he's good. We'll wait for the word from Jackal. It'll probably be good, but that was a close pit there from Good Square. I mean, yikes. And that's good. You gotta be close because, you know, last time he bled like 3 seconds entering pit lane. Right there, I think he was maybe 3/10 slower than everyone else. He's probably going to come out just fine. Sleesher on old tires, running an extra lap, doing a little bit of an overcut here, and kind of running with clean air. It is always nice, but it's kind of a shot in the dark when you have no one around you and you're just the last car staying
there
out.
There goes Griswold, Paul, and Smart Coder. Oh my goodness!
Cars. That is a wreck on the front straightaway. No caution. And Sleesher, Sleesher, what is he doing, man?
Oh man, he tried to get into pit road. Man, what is he thinking?
I don't know. He just kind of, sometimes your brain just locks up on a racetrack, and that was one of those times right there. You got to feel for him because he was running a perfect race, and he probably just threw away 3 or 4 seconds of time right there. So any gains he got from doing the overcut have just evaporated. And Joel Musa is actually challenging for the lead now almost. He's about 2 seconds back now of Sleesher. So that'll be interesting to see. But AJ, you gotta feel for Sleesher right now, dude. That was just tough.
Yeah, he miscalculated that so badly. I think he's gonna get in right now, but still, that's some heartbreak there. That'll cost him in the end, I think.
And I mean, he probably thought the caution was gonna come out or something.
Yeah.
And here comes Joel. Oh, Joel Musa is going to be right on his bumper. Joel Musa might be back in the top 5 after that one. I mean, right now he's pitting in second. The Sleesher leads one more lap, and we're going to see who comes around to take the lead. Trainwreck might come around to take it, currently in the tunnel turn. But we'll see who cycles through. Sleesher gets into his box well, same with Joel. And right now,
earlier got a pit penalty, so
this time he's all clean.
Yeah.
So Good Square is going to take back the lead now as he crosses the line. And Sleesher still not off pit road, and Good Square is going to have a huge lead over Trainwreck in second now, about 5 seconds, and that is exactly what Good Square wanted to see happen. And tough scene for Sleesher. He messed up his pit entry. He's going to come out in front of Joel. And, oh no, he spins too and takes out...
Man, what is that?
Into the inside wall, Elliott Sadler style. Oh my goodness. That is
but a lot less hard than Elliott Sadler.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. The motor is not strewn across the straightaway, so...
yeah.
I am... no caution, so... That's what good... I think Good Square at this point just got to pray there ain't no caution, because he's sitting pretty right now. He's got this thing pretty much in the bag. If he doesn't make any mistakes. So Good Square to the lead officially now, crossing the timing line. Following him is going to be Trainwreck, about 4 seconds back, trying to run down the leader, trying to figure out something. Behind him is a 3-car group led by the lap car of... Oh, sorry, not the lap car of Brian Nass's Space, led by Joel Musa, excuse me, followed by the 12 and the 9. And then when you get all the way to the back, you get to Brian Nass's Space sitting in 8th, who is currently just kind of drifting every corner. I think he's just kind of trying to see how much smoke he can start now. As the battle for P2 starts to tighten up here between Chris and Sleesher, AJ, what are your expectations from these two? Because these guys are now fighting basically to stay alive in the points. I mean, you want to get second here. So is there anything that you think these guys are going to do?
Yeah.
P3, excuse me.
Oh man, wow.
Oh, big slide.
As they're killing their tires.
And Chris Paul's going to get up to third now.
Yeah, so I think you just really want to be pushing here. You don't want to be battling each other because you both want the second place spot. So it doesn't matter if you're in front or behind. It's just that you need to get up to the 48 of train wreck.
Yeah, and a lot of times that's what a lot of racing is. In these longer races, it's around a 200-kilometer race. I mean, you can't push the entire race. You got to pick your battles, and right now is probably a time for these guys to say, look, let's get single filed out, and Trainwreck just ate the wall. I'm not Trainwreck, Sleesher just ate it. I mean, that was terrible for the tires.
Yeah.
He's going to be feeling that for the rest of the race, because every little skid probably knocks around 2 or 3% off your tires, it seems like, and if you spin it all the way around, that's 5 or 6% gone. And that's how much grip you lose as well, pretty much. So
yeah.
Now Sleesher can't push near as hard as he needs to, and Chris Paul can still push pretty well. But I definitely think that Chris now has the prerogative and the imperative that he has to push. He's got to get up there. He wants to get to that second place spot. He needs to get as many points as possible. You're probably going to have to pit again. I'll have to ask for confirmation on that. I think you'll have to pit again, though, because you pit after about 18, 19 laps.
Yeah.
So probably pitting around lap 65, 66, somewhere around there. And I think that'll probably make you to the end.
Unless there's like a
12 car around.
Oh man.
Into the 41 almost, but no caution. They keep it straight. And these guys are, I don't think we're going to have another caution. I think it's probably likely these guys will go green to the end, AJ. Almost every spin has been single cars.
Oh, there's Joe Musa.
Joel Musa, poor guy. Got all the way out of the gas, and that just sent him around. Now, Trainwreck, about 5 seconds back from the leader, Good Square, who is just setting blazing lap times. AJ, I think Good Square is a whole straightaway ahead now. And that's the power of running this track the way he's running it. He is absolutely committing to every corner, not making any mistakes.
Yeah.
Running at what we would call in sim racing an alien level, effectively. And that's what he's doing right now.
Yeah, I see that in turn 3, he's like starting high, and then he's diamonding down into the
he really diamonds the corner, and also he kicks the back end out. He really does slide those rear tires. And tires are at their most effective when you're around 2 or 3 degrees of slip. Now, he's running around 6 or 7 degrees of slip in the corner there, and he is just... I mean, look at those rear tires. He's almost crabbing it in the corner.
Yeah, and
that is where he's finding the grip.
He's at like a 90-degree angle in the corner.
Not quite. I mean, he got to 90 a few times.
Yeah.
Sleesher got to 90 a few laps ago, and he's dropped back a few spots because of it. He just lost another one to Chris Paul, all the way back in 4th now. Sleesher, and he can start feeling it slip away right now. I think, AJ. I mean, that's tires are killed. Car ain't handling the way you want it to. Just not going the way it was a couple laps ago, and you just got to kind of persevere. You know, you have to just believe that you're going to get another shot at it. Believe that you can get some more points out of this thing. And Trainwreck goes sideways. Here comes Sleesher back up into 3rd place. And
see, that's what I was talking about. Staying single file so you can catch up to Trainwreck.
Yeah, Trainwreck also let them catch him himself. His car is currently not behaving the way he wants. And now we got a Toyota on a Ford right now, 21 and 4 for 2nd place. And the 4 car getting a little bit loose in the mid-corner. 21 gets up to him. A little bit of door banging. 4 car goes back down to the bottom, takes the air off it. Now Trainwreck's going to have a big run here coming down the straightaway, coming into turn 2, the tunnel turn. But now Good Square, I mean, he is so far ahead of these guys. These guys are racing each other hard. He's just got to make sure his green flag pit stop goes to plan, and he has this thing pretty much in the bag. I mean, somebody might try and take no tires. Somebody might try some insane stuff like that, but I don't know. I think it's pretty much Good Square right now. It's a Good Square show, basically, Asia.
Yeah, Good Square has basically checked out on the field. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he just wins the race.
I mean, he could just drive away with this thing. That's what he wants to do. And, lots of contact there. Here comes Sleesher back at the bottom. 3 wide for 2nd. Through turns 1. Onto the long pond straightaway. 4 cars going to check up here, get a run. Doesn't have anywhere to go with it. He tries to part the Red Seas. He pushes the 48 around the 21. And the Fords with a little bit of super speedway bump drafting here at Pocono. And Sleesher, he goes around.
Oh, man, wow.
Into the wall almost, but keeps it straight enough. Here comes the 4 on Trainwreck. Trainwreck on the outside. On the inside here, Chris Paul gives him the full side of the car, broadsides him, and gets back that 2nd place spot. Good Square completely checked out on these guys, by the way, now about 9 seconds ahead of the field. He is gone. 7 seconds according to the timing board. It feels a heck of a lot bigger than that, AJ. They can't even see him in front of them. He is a whole straightaway and a corner ahead.
Yeah, I think you just need to be not thinking about the lead. Good square is checked out. You aren't getting there. You
Yeah.
really want to get to second because you want the points. Actually, that's
Yeah,
basically it.
it's not some moralistic moral victory right here. It's not
Yeah.
it's not some matter of pride. This is a matter of championships. This is
Yes.
very important to these guys right here. This isn't just, oh, we're running it because we're racers. This is, we're running it because we need it. All right. So this
Yeah,
is points, and
definitely.
this is a battle these guys have to fight just to stay in it. And oh my goodness, Trainwreck with a bit of lock up there on exit. We'll see how much bigger the gap is getting, but they cannot be thinking about that lead spot right now. They're 7 seconds back. Good Square could do a 180, do a half burnout, and get it back going again, and still hold about a 2-second lead right now. So, I mean, these guys pretty much need a miracle to get back to the lead. I mean, Good Square could cock up his pit stop. He's done that in the past. But I don't see it being likely. With that big of an advantage, he has built a cushion, AJ, and that's what we talk about in the points, building the cushion. But right now, he's building a cushion on the racetrack, too, and that's what he needed to do coming in here, was build a cushion in the points. And, I mean, penultimate race of the season, and all three of the guys fighting for second hit the wall there. So
Yeah. I would say Trainwreck got the worst of that one.
Yeah, Trainwreck really lost a lot of time. He's going to have to fend off and fight for third now, as Cristobal Paul... Now Cristobal Paul's got to think about just trying to run this track hard as he can. I mean, you got 6.5 seconds to make up. Good Square is fading a little bit. He has pushed a lot on those tires. He's sliding the rears quite a bit. On corner exit, that car is almost breaking loose on him. He's squiggling it a little bit. Almost pulls a Gordon Smiley on corner exit sometimes. I'm a Nebraskan, I can say it. But, you know, he's struggling a little bit with the handling of that race car now. And that is something he's going to have to think about as he comes up to lap traffic of Brian Nass's pace. My favorite race car driver. I love Brian. You know, he is the pride of Latvia.
Brian is great.
He is, yeah. And now we'll see, he's staying low for the leader. Please don't wash up into the leader. Please don't wash up into the leader. Please don't. Thank you, Brian.
Hooray! He's going.
Hooray! And he's pitting. He's pitting too. Thanks, Brian. We'll see how much time Chris Paul gained because of Brian being a very, very kind lap car to Good Square. He gained precisely 1/100th of a second.
I actually think that that Brian is being smart here. You really want to pit before everybody pits because then you can.
He missed his box.
Make it up on it. Oh, he just missed. He just missed the box. Well, like I think you should be pitting early because sure you'll have like more worn tires than everybody else, but at least you'll have that track position.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that when it comes to track position, when you're a lap down, it don't matter where you are on one lap down. You're still the lucky dog. But if you go 2 laps down, you can't go 2 down. You have to try and stay on the lead lap. And that's what Brian's doing, making a smart pit call to try and stay 1 lap down so that if there's a caution, he gets back on the lead lap and he gets a Mickey win or something. I don't know. I don't know what's going on in his brain right now.
That would be the greatest moment in Jackal.
That would be. That would be the greatest moment in this stream's history. All like 15 of you that are watching right now don't understand just how amazing that would be. That would be like... I can't...
That would be like
that'd be like watching the Apollo
actually winning
moonshot.
a soccer title. What?
That was some major flame right there, AJ.
It's not the Euros. It's not the Euros anymore.
That was some major flame right there.
That was last...
That was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, that was like 2 years ago.
If only Maguire could have taken all 5 penalties. He's my favorite soccer player because of that tournament and that tournament alone. He carried that team. Speaking of carrying, can we just talk about Good Square right now? He is carrying this race. He is 7 seconds ahead still on completely worn tires, dirt track in the corners, and clearing lap cars like they're nothing. He's coming out to lap Brian again. Again? Oh my god.
Again.
Poor Brian.
Maybe.
And Brian spins it. Oh, hits the wall hard. And he might want to come back down pit road again for new tires for that one. Good Square's really fighting it though.
Yeah. I feel like he just needs to pit here, like in the next 2 or 3 laps. Get that.
Well, you want to make it to the end.
I don't think he's gonna make it. He needs to pit for fuel in a few laps anyway.
Yeah, but he has to pit here to make it to the end. You want to pit with at least 16 to go, or with less than 16 to go to make it to the end to guarantee it. And Chris Paul entering pit lane now. I believe it'll be a full service stop for him. I can't see it going any other way. And good square now. I think it'll probably be his time to pit now. That car is really not... He's fighting that thing in the corner a lot. So he's probably going to have to come down pit road here. Probably full service for good square as well. He's got a pretty good lead. I don't think he has to worry about it. So good square is going to go one more, apparently. Oh my god, that thing just slides on. Yeah, he's going this time. I think he was scheduling to go one more. Gets down to 73 on pit entry. Wait. Yeah, once again, he's cutting it close. He cut it really close that time. That was like... That was like...
I don't even think he wouldn't... he would have made another lap.
I don't think he would have on fuel. Definitely not on those tires. That thing was getting ready to spin every corner. So we'll see who cycles out to the lead. Sleesher...
Stop for good square, I think.
Yeah, good square is in full service here. I think he's probably still going to be good even with the... That was a perfect pit entry. I mean, he almost sped. I think he did speed, but he got away with it, and that's what matters, you know?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you speed, it matters if you get caught speeding. That's a bit of racing information. And Chris Paul now comes out ahead of good square, I believe. We'll see how it all cycles through, but... Okay, so Chris Paul's going to come out at the end of the lap in front of good square. Good square is going to cycle out in the lead, I believe.
Oh, Joe Musa into the wall in turn 3, dang.
Dang.
Terrible.
I'd say how many times we said that today, but he's usually been out of people's way when he's been wrecking. But this time he's in the spotlight, one lap down, and good square is still sliding the rears on that car so much. So Sleesher will inherit the lead, followed by Kreisen. Good square is pit already, same as Chris and Trainwreck. But we're going to see exactly where everyone comes out. So Sleesher has to pit now, and Chris Paul is actually in front of Sleesher, or in front of good square. So that is a swing. I'd like to figure out how he did that. Well, I wonder what he did different on the pit strategy there. Where's Larry Mack when you need him?
I don't know, man.
I don't know. We need a Larry Mack up in here. But Kreisen now coming into pit lane. That number 9 car has been hooked up all day. Quick pit stop for him. He's going to come out and hopefully finish this thing off strong for his team.
Leisha's in the lead, but he's going to lose it on this pit stop.
Yeah, he's going to have to pit. But Chris Paul comes out in front of good square. I don't know what
he's going to cut it a little close on this fuel.
He really is. Same with good square as well. They're both pretty close on fuel. I don't know if they're going to be able to make it here, AJ.
Nah, I think they are, actually.
I don't know. Here comes good square, though, for the lead here. Chris Paul is going to have to try and fight him off. And here comes good square. Sleesher is in P1, but he has to pit still, so... Basically, consider this the battle for the lead. They won't be gaining any points for leading laps right now, but still certainly important to get the car in front.
Who disappeared off the spectate? Somebody disappeared.
I don't know.
They're disconnected.
We're being told Chris is getting lapped, and he just wrecked. Apparently the guy is lapped. Chris is not getting lapped. Chris is on the same lap as Good Square.
Chris is second.
Chris is second right now.
Tires or something.
Yes. Yeah, he's not getting lapped. We're being fed false information.
This is terrible.
Yeah, I think the Russians are jamming us.
Man.
Damn. Yeah, good square. Sitting pretty in third place right now, trying to run down Chris Paul, who is P2. I don't know how that happened. The host does not know how that happened. I don't think anyone knows how that happened, but he's happy about it. I don't think he's going to question it. He probably knows exactly what happened. I think that he probably took only half service and is on worn-ass tires. I assume that's what he did. That's the only way he could have made up like 13 seconds of time in the pits. Unless his pit crew is on crack, which...
That's a whole different story.
That's a whole different... I'm not going to talk about that issue. But Good Square is running him down, but he hasn't been able to pass him. Because every time he gets to him, the floor throws a huge block. This time he doesn't...
Well,
oh, wow! Door banging down the front straightaway.
You shouldn't even be doing that at that point. Just don't squeeze him down.
And he's just turning onto him. He's just turning into him. And now here he comes down. Oh, he's gonna sit in the corner too. Slide job. Oh
man! Wow.
Big contact coming off the corner.
He's gonna get the run off the high side.
Dang it still. This is a full contact bit of racing here by the 4 car. Thank God this isn't the real life Gen 6. They both would have cut down a tire and hit the wall at a 90-degree angle by now. 27 gets a huge lunge on the top, but the 4 is going to slide him again.
Oh, man.
Oh, my goodness, AJ. This is
at this point, just turn him out of the way. He isn't going to give this up cleanly.
These guys are... this is some dirty driving here, but that's what people love to see. That's what people like watching, you know? You might virtue signal about how you hate dirty driving, but this is darn near exciting as all get out, AJ. This is something.
Yeah, of course. I'm not saying that this isn't exciting. I'm just
another
saying
door bang.
Dangerous.
Oh, he caught it there. Good Square turns in hard. The 4 car back up into him. They're gonna hit the wall. Good Square into the wall.
Oh man.
And Chris Paul back. Here comes Trainwreck. He's poking his nose into the conversation.
Good Square could have diamond down into the corner and just taken the lead there. Chris Paul was just gonna go into the wall.
Yes, but here they come again through the tunnel turn. And here comes Trainwreck. Where does he go with these guys?
Oh man, the block.
To the inside, Trainwreck, Good Square blocking. They're going to be 3 wide if they ain't careful. Trainwreck gets underneath Good Square, gets up into second. He's going to be alongside Chris Paul, and he clears him.
Man,
that was a little bit of Ford manufactured buddy right there. And he's still blocking.
Oh, there goes Chris Paul all the way to the paint.
Oh, and Good Square should just hold that wheel straight coming into this corner. That was some dirty driving, and he's still racing him hard as all get out. Good Square shoves him out of the way.
Now there he goes.
And the 4 car misses the corner, and finally Good Square gets clear of him. That was, oh my goodness. Now Trainwreck up into first. AJ, what have we just watched?
I do not know. That was some very questionable driving from Chris Paul, but he certainly made it interesting.
He really did, and now Trainwreck and Good Square have to fight this thing out. They're going to have to drag this thing for 10 laps, coming to the line, 10 to go, AJ. Inside the pit window, I do believe they will not have to pit. They might have to. It's going to be close. I'm not quite sure on that, on what the math works out to.
I feel like they're gonna make it.
They're probably gonna make it, but they might run out across the line again. I mean, we saw that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And here comes Good Square slide.
Oh man! Wow.
Ooh. AJ, they almost just gave this win to Chris Paul in that corner.
Yeah, and Chris Paul on worn tires.
Yes, Chris Paul. His tires are bald at this point. There ain't nothing left on them. He's down on the rim at this point, honestly. I mean, that car is not turning. He's on bike tires. But now Good Square just has to kind of wait for his moment. Big lunge.
Oh
big
man, that lunge.
Oh
no!
Contacts, big save, dirt track.
He put him in the wall.
And the 4 car, video gaming it off of the corner, is actually gaining on these guys again. Car in the wall hard. And that is Sleesher backing it directly into the wall behind them for no reason. He's in 4th, with no one within a mile of him. That's fun.
No caution.
No caution. Big send here from Good Square. Doesn't quite get... Chris Paul is back in the picture!
Paul, what is he doing?
He moves Good Square. What is happening?
This is insane.
Trainwreck back to a huge advantage. If I'm Good Square at this point, I'm saying screw it. I'm the greatest of all time. I don't need this, and just dumping him because that is some hard running. Oh, and
maybe that's what he's gonna do here.
That might be. He gives him the chrome horn, 1 tap. Let's see if he gives him the 2nd and 3rd tap. Good old 3-tap rule. And here he comes to the inside. He passes Chris Paul, and Chris Paul, he can't make the corner anymore. Those tires are too worn. And now Good Square's got a good number of laps to try and run down Trainwreck. I think Trainwreck's got to start trying to Indy Snake it here, because he's just laying down draft for Good Square right now.
Yeah.
And Good Square in that draft hitting about 200 miles an hour coming down into the corner. And Chris Paul is better in 1 and 2, I think. He can't make any other corner on the racetrack at all, but in 1 and 2 he gains time.
This is some weird.
I don't know what that strategy call was. I don't understand how he expected it to work.
He's gonna blow a tire at some point.
At some point, that car's just going to not make the corner and go straight. I think that was going to be before the end of this race. And Trainwreck is getting run down right now by Good Square. I mean, this is a battle for the lead that is still very much up in the air. Trainwreck getting really squirrely on corner exit, coming off of the 3rd corner. He's also pretty loose in the tunnel turn. So Good Square's got to look to make those corners perfect. I mean, he's not gaining in 1 and 2. Good Square's pretty bad at this end of the racetrack. But in turns 2 and 3, he is running that car really well. and I think he can probably gain on Trainwreck there. But look at this in 1 and 2. He just kind of struggles to get the bite. I mean, Trainwreck also really struggling to get the bite that time. Good Square gets a good run off the corner.
Good Square.
Here he comes to the high side. No block from Trainwreck. And a little bit of contact maybe. They touch a tiny bit. And that's going to be Trainwreck holding the lead, but Good Square is going to be on the outside. Oh, he taps the wall. He gets a little kiss.
Yeah. That was never going to work out in the million years. Too wide on the high. You go out on the high side in turn 2. That's
Good Square
not
is getting desperate. He's on worn out tires. He needs to be leading this race. I think he's got it. We've seen how well you can defend. Apparently,
Good Square actually has the better tires than Trainwreck, and
you would not think that the way that car's driving. Like, you would not think that, AJ, would you?
Yeah.
I mean, that thing does not. Oh, and look at that! Now Trainwreck's really feeling it in 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And that's where Good Square's tires also seem to be affecting him pretty badly. They're just not making 1 and 2 as quick as they used to. Chris Paul also is going to be facing some pressure here in about 2 laps from Sleesher. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens there. I think those two are probably going to have a pretty interesting fight because they're right next to each other in the points. And we've already seen how Chris races Toyotas. And they also have lap traffic. That's Smart Coder up in front of him. You see, Smart Coder wouldn't be so far down if AJ didn't wreck him 90 times in practice. But
yeah. Yeah.
And now Good Square to the lead. Big move. Oh my goodness, Trainwreck with a lot of contact there. 2 wide across the stripe. Call it a dead heat. Those guys are right alongside each other. Coming into turns 1 and 2 for the... But I don't know what the term is for the 6 laps to go with ITE at the end of it, but whatever that is. Sex Ultimate time. There we go.
Yeah.
So 6 laps to go. These guys have been running hard this entire race. I mean, 5 laps to go, excuse me. And I honestly do not know who's going to win this thing between these two because it has come down to 2 guys who, at various points in the race, have looked like the strongest cars, and at various points in the race have looked like they didn't have a chance. And they have both had to fight against possibly the hardest racing old tires car I've ever seen in row racing or sim racing or any sort of racing. I mean, that 4 car...
Man, side by side for the lead.
And they're still side by side. This lap car is going to get him single file up here, though, AJ. They're not going to be able to face this
Smart Coder needs to get out of the dang way.
I know, slow car, as the old line goes, in the way here. And he is not that fast. He is like 3 or 4 miles an hour slower than these guys on the lap average, I assume. They're both going to go high on him. He's holding the... Oh, no. Why is he going high?
Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me, man?
This is not how a lap car should act.
This is not how you should be running. The leader... And Good Square gets underneath him. Trainwreck also... Oh, my goodness.
That was dangerous driving.
That was. Now, Trainwreck's got a huge gap in front of him now for Good Square because that lap car on the exit really took away the outside on exit there for Trainwreck. Now, Good Square starting to drive away here, but he's so bad in 1 and 2. I just can't... I can't see this not tightening back up at least a little bit. I don't know if he's going to have a chance to get back to Good Square, but Trainwreck might be able to get there. I don't know if he'll be able to step past though. Good Square really shortcutting the entry of the corner on these old tires. Isn't getting any sort of bite off in the mid-corner though. I mean, look at Trainwreck now getting a huge run. Gained about half the time he lost that lap car back on the Wampum straightaway. And now it's going to be 2 laps to go this time by as they come towards turn 2. I am at a loss for words. This has been an incredible race.
This is very unpredictable at this point. I don't know if Trainwreck's going to end it in the corner.
Oh, and Chris just put Sleesher on the wall.
Are you kidding me? This is
Those guys
terrible.
are racing each other hard as all get out. Trainwreck gets all the way to the 27 now, and they're going to be going 2 laps to go, a quarter of a second, 3 car lengths, all that determines the lead, and that's the championship all the way. This is going to mix up the point standings real good. As Sleesher also trying to run down Chris. Might get another chance at him because how slow Chris is. We'll see about what happens there. We'll give you updates. As soon as these guys cross the line, we're going to get that camera pointed at the battle for third. We're going to see what happens there. As soon as these guys have settled out their differences.
Let's go split screen for the final lap, please.
It'd be nice if we could, but if it's not possible, I understand switching it. But Trainwreck throwing it into the corner with all the ferocity of a major league pitcher coming off the corner like a roaring eagle. Coming down towards turns 3 and 4, or turns 3, but basically turns 3 and 4. And he's going to get a run here on Good Square. Good Square got loose.
Oh,
white flag in the air.
They're side by side.
Oh, banging in the wall goes Good Square. White flag. Trainwreck leading by about 2 car lengths. Trainwreck apologizing, but at this point, I don't think it's time for apologies. It's time to race, boys. White flag, 1 lap to go. second to last race of the Jackal racing season. Good Square better at 1 and 2. Here he comes, coming up to the quarter panel. Trainwreck's gonna have to, gets
Oh
loose.
man, there's a touch there.
Lots of contact. And Sleesher has passed Chris Paul behind. Trainwreck now with a 2-car length advantage coming into the tunnel turn. No lap traffic ahead of them. It's going to be any sort of problem, but Brian is ahead there. Maybe a little bit of a wake off of him as Good Square gets the wall.
If Good Square's going to make a move, it's right now. He's going to have to
make it right here in turns 3.
Dive it in there.
He throws it in.
Oh my goodness.
He throws it in. It doesn't bite. It doesn't bite.
Oh man.
But neither does the 48. He's going to have a run off the corner. Here he comes. But it's not going to be enough, is it? Maybe he gets a chance to pull out. He gets there. Trainwreck wins it by a car length. Meanwhile, Sleesher and Chris Paul door banging. Chris with the run on the outside. Sleesher blocks it. And Sleesher is going to come home with 3rd. Chris in 4th place on just an amazing pit call. Coming in behind them is Smart Coder. I'm out of breath, AJ.
Oh, man. Wow. Did Brian just wreck across the line?
And yes, Brian wrecked across the line for last.
This is terrible.
This is terrible news, but what a race, man.
Yeah, this race was actually very entertaining. A lot more entertaining than I thought it was going to be, which is great, actually.
And that was worth the wait, AJ. That was worth the wait. We're going to get Trainwreck in here in a moment. But, wow.
I am at a loss for words for that. Just amazing. Amazing race here at Pocono.
Catching my breath over here. You think I just ran this dang race, AJ?
Yeah.
And I mean ran it. I don't mean drove it. I mean ran it. Oh my goodness. We're going to get Trainwreck in here. We're going to drag his old booty in this call, and we're going to see what he thinks about that amazing victory. Trainwreck, you're live on the Jackal Racing Network. What a win that was for you there, man. Tell us about it.
Trainwreck.
Trainwreck.
Oh, yeah.
Hello.
Sorry. I'm here.
Trainwreck, what a win. Just, I don't have any questions. Just talk. Do your burnouts. You can burn out while you talk. Just talk. Say words.
Well, I apologize to Good Square. I kind of put him into the wall. My tires were really dead. And thanks to my teammate for holding him up, I wouldn't have been able to catch them at all. And it was actually a pretty good race. And I was trying my hardest to catch up, like before the last pit cycle, but I've spun like 20 times. Hopefully that was not on camera.
Oh, it was. Don't worry.
It was.
But Trainwreck, I gotta ask one question between you and Chris, right? Was that he was helping you out? I know that, but was that not a little excessive? Door banging the leader, putting him in the wall, dang near turning him like 5 times when he's on newer tires than you.
Well, I have no reaction to that. I mean, that wasn't really the plan. We had no plan at all. It just kind of happened.
Yeah, sure. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, we believe you, dude. Anybody you want to thank for this win? Any shout-outs you want to give?
Not in particular.
All right. Well, thank you, Trainwreck, a melancholy winner here at Pocono, and probably a points leader. It's going to be close. You're going to be up there. Probably going to still be in contention for that championship. Good luck, man. It was a hell of a race out there. You drove it good. And off that final corner, I mean, that car wasn't biting at all, but you still held on to it and kept that thing for the win. Good job out there, man. All right, that was Trainwreck. And now this is the interview that, if Good Square wasn't the nicest man on the planet, this would be spicy. But here comes Good Square. Good Square, we've dragged you in against your will. 2nd place finish here at Pocono. And first thing I got to ask you, man, what about Chris Paul? What about that? What was going on there?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. You'd have to ask him. So, the only thing I did to him I can see is, I think like lap 5 we went side by side. I accidentally spun him, and then I guess that's what got him upset. So, other than that, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, this race was going all to plan until that point, I reckon, for you. And did you feel it start to slip after the incidents with Chris there, or I mean, you got bumped by Trainwreck near the end there, and he apologized. Do you accept that apology?
It kind of cost me the win, so I don't know what to think per se. So yeah.
And anything else you want to mention there, Chris? Or sorry, Good Square.
I guess shout out to my sponsor for sponsoring me today. I almost got them the win, and yeah, I guess on to the championship race.
All right. Well, good luck there at the championship, Good Square. You ran a good race out there. Just came up a little bit short. Thank you for your time.
No problem.
All right. Enough mucking about. Here's the man himself, Chris Bald Paul, public enemy number 1 out here. We dragged you in against your consent. Just tell us, what the hell were you doing out there, buddy?
I had to pull some strategy, maybe hold up the 27, have the 48 catch up first and foremost, get a team win, and we got that today. But you know, XMS is just it's just typical XMS. It's how they behave. In the beginning of the race, I had to race the 27. He turned me, well, damn near turned me, and I don't know if I turned him again. I don't know, but he turned me, so I spent the entire race trying to get back up there, and I had to pull the strategy. And once I got him in the range, I just held him up because, you know, he turned me before.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if he's upset about that, and if he is, I don't really care, but it's just what you have to do when you're out here.
All right. Now, one more question on that front. Do you think that maybe you were a little bit excessive out there when it came to bumping and banging with him, considering how slow you were? I mean, you could have wrecked him. You could have probably put him around and cost him a chance to even compete for the win in this race. But you're racing him really, really dang hard. Is there any... think you went a little bit overboard there, or you stand by your actions?
Yeah, I stand by it. I mean, if I wrecked him, then I wrecked him. I mean, whatever happens is going to happen, because I spent the entire, like, a good portion of the season getting fucked over by them, so I don't care. It's the end of the season now. It's when things are just about to pan up. Last race is at Auto Club, so I wanted to go in here, get a good finish. I'd consider fourth a good finish, although he got second, so he might gain a little bit of points on me, and I think he got most laps led, so he might gain a little bit, but I'm confident going into Auto Club. I'm just ready to do burnouts next weekend.
All right.
But it's I don't know, man. Like, they spent damn near the entire season fucking me over, so I'm gonna have to have my fun now. But the only thing is, I'm not just gonna do it worse. I'm just gonna race them as hard as they race me, if not harder. So.
Dang.
Well, thank you for your time, Chris. A lot of differing opinions on all that, but, you know, that's racing out there, and we look forward to seeing you at the championship, man.
All right, thank you, man.
Yeah. AJ, final reflections on what we just saw?
Immediately, what I'm thinking is, Chris Bald Paul is on a mission. Mm-hmm. He is not fooling around with this championship. He's gonna win it or wreck it, I would say.
I think he will wreck to win it. I think he is.
Yeah, he will wreck to win it.
He is hell-bent on championship here.
Yeah.
Now...
he really wants it.
You're a former league admin. You're a former driver.
Yes.
I'm a former league admin. I'm a former driver. I race on an R lot. Race a lot of sim racing. What's your personal opinion on how Chris raced him? Just as a driver, as a league owner, as a person.
I think it's necessary, but it's very disrespectful. This is a respect-based sport, I would say. Yeah. Like real racing and of course like fake racing on video games. It really is about respect. It's like you get a good reputation for like driving cleanly and fairly, and like it's just good racing, you know? Like, but I think it sometimes is necessary to race dirty, I would say. I've raced dirty before. You've raced dirty before.
Oh,
it's
boy,
just the way that you got it.
Yeah. I would say, here's how I would say it. I don't think what Chris did was right, but from his point of view, I can understand. I think from his point of view, it's justified.
Yeah.
I think that he has been raced hard in the past by XMS cars. I think that's true. I think that he wanted to hold up that guy. He wanted to hold up Good Square. I think that is also true. However, I really don't agree with racing Good Square as dang hard as he did. He could have wrecked both of them and ruined both their championships. I think it may have been a little bit dull of him. But I understand where he's coming from, and I understand why he raced him that way. I understand why. And at the end of the day, we're talking about that, and that's what people are going to be talking about is all that instead of the way that the race for the win went. And, I mean, Good Square has every right to be pissed off, all right? And we've gone way over our cap on that already, AJ, from those interviews.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he has every right to be peeved because the way he got raced at the end of that race was really, really rough and almost out of line. But that's what people like watching, okay? At the end of the stream, we went from like having 5 years to having dang near 30. I mean, that's what people want to see. That's what people come for. That's what people want to see out of their racing, and that might be an indictment of the human condition. It might be an indictment of the way they were driving each other. I don't know, but it was exciting. That's all I got.
Definitely both and more.
Mm-hmm. It was the most Midwestern California I ever knew. Well, AJ, it was nice. It's been nice serving alongside you today.
Yes.
This race has been a war zone, and it has been a great time for both of us. I'm AJ Schlotterbeck. That's AJ Jones. Thank you very much for watching the Jackal Racing Network, and we're gonna see you next 2 weeks from now, I believe, at Fontana or Homestead or wherever the finale is. One of them.
Wherever it is, we'll see you there.
We'll see you there, and I expect more fireworks from there, AJ.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. Yeah, and make sure to tune in for Radioactive. It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one.
It's gonna be a great one.
I expect they might have to break out the klaxon horn for all the swearing, man. I don't know.
Maybe.
All right.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
that's
thank
it
you for watching. We'll send ourselves off.
Yeah.